Honorable Chancellor of the University, most esteemed Sri Arif Muhammad Khan Ji, Governor of Kerala, respected Sri Shaji KV, Honorable Chairman NABARD and our guest of honor, honorable members of the Executive Committee, the General Council and the Academic Council, respected deans of the faculties, distinguished teachers, loving parents, dear graduates and students, ladies and gentlemen, invitees. I am extremely happy to greet and welcome you all at this very pleasant and august annual convocation of the university today, graduating total of 972 students, of which 831 are here. I congratulate the graduating students, the teachers who imparted their instruction over the last few years, the technical and administrative staff who facilitated it, and the parents and friends who supported the students during their rigorous instruction. It is also a matter of deep satisfaction that the university have chosen to recognize the criticality of the development banking sector in India in supporting agriculture, and also the remarkable personal contribution of Sri Shaji KV, an alumnus of the Kerala Agricultural University and presently the helmsman of agriculture and rural development in India, in his august capacity as the chairman of the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. I am very grateful that Sri Shaji is attending the convocation to receive the degree in person. It also satisfies me immensely that amongst the graduates, an overwhelming majority, 701, are women candidates, and 99% belong to socially less represented sections, that is, members of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The results of our university are therefore reaching women and weaker sections increasingly, reducing our historic gender disparity and empowering communities and social groups situated away from power structures due to our legacy issues. A good number of these are first-generation graduates in their respective families and possibly in their neighborhood also. In this very brief address, I would prefer to mention only two personal orientations graduates may like to keep in mind to maximize their success after the qualification they receive today. I may say that however endowed you are, intellectually, socially and creatively, these two orientations will be rather critical in whether your strengths of intellect can be transformed into a shared excellence. Firstly, your qualities have to be informed by the recognition and acknowledgement of the role of the collective in ensuring your success and therefore your necessary reciprocal commitment. No man is entirely a making of nature. He is also the product of his time, tempered by the historical process immediately preceding his birth and development. The society which conditions a certain challenge, opportunity and achievement operates within a state which is again a product of long struggle from various unfreedoms suffered by the earlier generations. In our case, our society should be understood to have historically differentiated from the rest of the peoples of the world at least 5,000 years ago and came together as a definite polity after about 200 years of very recent political struggle. The stratified society responsible for production, growth and wealth creation also emerged from the colonial shadow, but has reached a point of success through the work of several generations who contributed to our collective cause that emerged in 1947. That is India, our motherland. Various examples of such meaningful state-building activities undertaken after the 50s can be identified. The legendary works of Professor M.S. Swaminathan in Agricultural Research and Development, Dr. Homi Bhabha, Professor Satish Dhawan, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in Space and Defense Technologies, Professor Ramalingaswamy and his group in Healthcare, Vaccine Technology, Immunology, Sri Narayan Murthy and the other equally important founders of the Indian IT revolution and globally performing Indian companies. In the case of automobiles, the house of Tatas and Mahindras and so on and so forth, who run automobiles across the world and possibly in other planets also in the coming years. A feature of this spectacular post-independent success is the significant role of public resources in providing these pioneers their initial sanctuaries to educate and grow. Secondly, whichever be your chosen field of activity, A deep sense of duty must inform your professional and personal choices, especially where your actions affect others. A sense of duty is an extension of the recognition of the collective's influence, but it is much more than that. In the modern workplace, even when you have digital tools which you need personal commitment levels at over 60 hours per week to succeed meaningfully. Without spending at least 10,000 hours exercising your mind and body in the chosen professional area, no person can claim to be of great professional competence with a world-class reliability and be of reasonable assurance to the client customers. Apart from your self-study, this also involves traveling, training, and contemplation in one subject and significantly related areas. A sense of duty is not limited to personal endeavor in accomplishing individual excellence. It is best captured in the words of the British Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Army, 1930-32, pre-independence, the very famous Field Marshal Philip Chetwood. Chetwood gave the credo of the Indian Military Academy, which is as follows: the safety, honor, and welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command come next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. The Field Marshal's famous distinction between officers, leaders, and men, and the necessary orientation of officers towards men is equally noteworthy. He advised officers to respect their men, to care for them, and even die, lay down your lives if necessary in their interest. But he quickly added, please don't be or behave like them. The officers, leaders have to display considerably superior knowledge and skills, a fine discriminating intelligence, and a sense of fairness and tact while dealing with the ranks. He says, notably, above all, the men who follow you in the ranks do not want an officer to be like them. They want you to be distinct for them to trust you enough. It's a very noteworthy quotes which Chetwood has left for us. The Field Marshal was outlining the distinction of the leader in a formation. A leader cannot march the formation from the tail end or the middle ranks, just as much as a camp follower cannot be leading the march from the front. Leadership is no longer conventional, hierarchical, or inherited, but you are tested every day on it, and your accomplishment of achieving the goal without sacrificing the value involved should always succeed. ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കാരണങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് ബിരുദം കൈവരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഗുരുക്കന്മാരെയും കാരണവന്മാരെയും സ്മരിച്ച് അവരെ ഓർമ്മിച്ച് വേണം അത് സ്വീകരിക്കാൻ. അല്ലായെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ വ്യക്തിഗത മിടുക്കിന് ഒരു പരിധിക്കപ്പുറം മുന്നേറാൻ കഴിയില്ല എന്നാണ് ഇത്രയും കൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ സൂചിപ്പിച്ചത്. Life will not, however, be a walk in the clouds or stopping to smell the roses. Phases of low personal satisfaction, professional and personal conflicts, and problems and trials and tribulations must not upset your spirits irreversibly. You should not lose heart at temporary upsets and setbacks. Faith in oneself and the strength of purpose will see you through. Let not temporary misfortunes life brings demoralize you. Stay in the sense of the collective, the deep depth we owe that collective, and the resultant call to duty over the circumstance that will lead you to better days. I assumed the responsibility of the Kerala Agricultural University rather unexpectedly in February 23. I'm happy that the outgoing graduates of both the academic years, 22 and 23, could be provided with befitting convocations. In 96, I received my degree from the KAU without the fond memory of a convocation. When I spoke to Mr. Shaji, he also did not have the advantage of a convocation. So it is a way of sweet atonement which is done in due time. This year, we could successfully organize the convocation out of the university headquarters campus also. The university campuses are spread across the state, and convocation can be hosted anywhere the physical facility would allow us. Tradition is a good thing to observe, but doing things differently once in a while also helps strengthening capacities across the different contexts. No region of Mother Earth is too far for mankind now. We expect most of you to be almost everywhere in the world in a few years in time. In the last 1 year or so, the university considerably improved its administrative and academic performance. We connected all the campuses and all the decision-making units through our own intranet and office software. The university moved towards transforming itself to full green power with about a 1 megawatt plant being established in 5 campuses, scalable up to 100 megawatts, contributing to the state's energy security also. The university also innovated 25 new academic programs with about 400 additional seats, most of which will be taken this academic year. The University Reforms Committee appointed by government have also matured their report, which should be due to submission to the Honorable Chancellor in the month of June. To add value to this, the Western Sydney University has collaborated with us in positioning our graduates on the final year in their campus and awarding a dual degree. And I have great pleasure in announcing to you that after our decision to hold the convocation, Grant Thornton Consulting, one of the important consulting firms in India in agriculture, have offered 25 fully paid internship positions to this graduating batch. Should you be interested to work with consulting, many of you may like to pick up those opportunities. I am sure that the university's leadership and ranks will transfer these investments into meaningful products in the coming months and years. I would like to close this brief address by humbly thanking the Honorable Chancellor for having graced the university amidst his busy commitments as a governor and scholar statesman. I have been fortunate to work with many stalwarts who adorned the chancellorship of the universities of Kerala, where I was appointed in different capacities. These included former Judge of the Indian Supreme Court, several times Chief Minister, former Director General of Police, former Union Law Minister, former District Judge, and the present Honorable Chancellor, who has possibly occupied all constitutional positions, except maybe one or two, in his long career in politics and public affairs. The personal interactions I was fortunate to have with each of them imparted me a lesson or two on the dignity of human values, utmost courtesy, decency, and the lightness and graciousness with which they handled their considerable authority over the state and the university, often reminding me that the best trial of character is while enjoying huge power. Character unabridged by power enjoyed by the person is proof of their inherently noble citizenship, equanimity and magnanimity overlaid upon a deep sense of constitutional morality. I can humbly recommend it as a lesson and virtue to all the graduates of the day. Honorable Chancellor, I am highly grateful that you very graciously accepted our humble invitation regarding this convocation as soon as it was made. I welcome you most heartily to the convocation on behalf of all of us here. I remember and convey the good wishes of Sri P. Prasad, Honorable Pro-Chancellor, and Sri K. Rajan, Honorable Member of our Executive Committee, who are ministers in the State Council of Ministers, but could not make it today as all of you know, the elections are on in the state and the process is not yet complete. Therefore, because of technical reasons, I am requested to convey their good wishes to you, and I have agreed to do so. I do so. I once again congratulate, thank, and welcome amidst us former alumnus Sri K.V. Shaji for his most graceful acceptance of our invitation and his acceptance of our honoris causa, which the Chancellor is to announce during the course of this. I heartily welcome the honorable members of the General Council, Academic Council, and the Executive Committee of the University, the Registrar, who is the kingpin of organization, all the deans, particularly Dean of the Vellani College, Dr. Roy Stephen, who is the host of the day, Directors of Education, Extension, and Research who are here, all the honorable members of the faculty, the very diligent staff of the university, the student volunteers who made it all possible, all attending students, very respected and loved parents, and their friends. I congratulate all those who led the onerous efforts required to organize this magnificent ceremony most befittingly, and do hope that all of you will enjoy the proceedings with unreserved, continuous applause of the proceedings. I wish all of you the very best. Thank you. Jai Hind. Continuing with the proceedings, Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you, sir, to kindly declare the KU Convocation 2023 open.